I swung on a nigga before, but I ain't never did nothing to nobody's stuff. Like, I did something to the nigga, but I ain't never, like, you know, I ain't never done anything that was gonna, like, leave proof. You see what I'm saying?
What?
Like, I've never, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just talk about something.
Yeah, let's talk about something
crazy. Like, I don't know what to say.
You're listening to Big Facts with Big Bank and DJ Scream.
Live from First Class Sounds, of course, it's the voice of DJ Scream. Big Bank is here, Baby Jade is here, DJ Drama is here. It's time for another episode of Big Facts. What's up, everybody? Good? Everybody good?
Sure. It's lit.
What's up, my brother?
What's poppin'?
Yo, you know, so we go get all of your business.
I had to just stay like that, bro. You trademark.
I learned from T.I.
Y'all trademark this shit.
We're gonna have a conversation with you, but
that permanent gangster lean. Like.
we always start Big Facts with just some good topics and conversation. You know what I'm saying, that come from the people that come from, you know, our homies here and everything.
Okay.
So today we're talking about love as a whole. Is love dangerous? Can love make you stupid? Let's talk about love. We talked a lot about loyalty. We're going to leave loyalty out of it today. But we're going to talk about just love and how y'all feel. Is love dangerous? That's the question.
Most definitely.
When you say dangerous, what do you mean by that?
Love can be like
dangerous,
a drug.
period. It's dangerous, period, because you can love someone so much that you ignore who they really are.
So love can
that happens all the time.
Love can make you stupid.
Well, let me ask you, are we talking about just love of a person or love of...
We're talking about love as in relationships, but love as in...
You can love money.
Your homies.
Yeah. Anything, though. Your love for money makes you do some dangerous shit.
Yeah,
Sure.
Love is love.
They say when you're in love, like it releases endorphins in your brain, so pretty much kind of...
It clouds your judgment.
Yeah, it clouds your judgment.
So it makes you stupid.
So that's dangerous.
It can make you stupid.
Yeah.
Which is dangerous because now you're not at your full... You don't have your full defense, I guess.
Yeah, but like what Black was saying about, like, you can love somebody so much until you ignore the signs of, or all the stuff about, like, who they really are. That's, like, really, that's true. Because at the end of the day, when you love somebody that much and you want it to work so bad and you don't want to see anything else or whatever, you really don't see anything else. You really don't see that, like, this person could be using you. You really don't see that this person really doesn't fuck with you, really doesn't mess with you the way that, you know what I'm saying, you mess with them. You really don't see that, okay, somewhere there's an ulterior motive to this entire situation that could be detrimental to you in the end.
So it creates tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And you think so is love not healthy when it's not both ways, meaning as in, okay, you got love for a person.
Most definitely not.
But they don't love you back.
Most
so then that's what creates
not.
a lot of the bullshit probably.
Because when you love somebody for real to that extent and they don't love you the same, that shit'll destroy you in the end.
Or at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you think, Black?
I think what you think. Shit, you right.
I don't know how much everybody will open up, but
I think,
ahead.
love can, you know, like Jay was saying, I mean, it could get in the way of a lot of things. I mean, it's you know, in its purest form, it's a beautiful thing, obviously.
Right.
But,
for sure.
you know, it's like the way we live in today's society is used for, you know,
a lot of people take advantage of that purity.
Absolutely. And you know what, I always think about too, like, you know, in all types of relationships, but loving ones particular too, like you fall in love with a person, you know, let's say you, however long, I don't know how long it takes, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever, you spend this time with that person, and even if you're in a relationship with them for a year, 2 years, you know, you really got to think and remember, like, you weren't with this person for X amount of years of their life, for 20 plus years, so you really don't know where they are, who they are as a person. You don't get a lot of that till down the line, per se. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they went through and what have you. So as much as you might think you're in love and know a person, you just met this person. You don't know what got them to here.
I got a question for y'all.
Right.
Do you think a person that was raised on love can effectively co-reside or effectively love a person that was raised on survival? To the point where it doesn't destroy either one of them.
What the hell you saying?
Like, okay, somebody,
That was a deep fact.
somebody that was raised on love, that had like both of their parents in the home and that, you know, didn't get beat on or yelled at
Had
or
a
nothing like
full
that.
concept
They
of
got
love.
talked to.
Right.
Do you think that they could love somebody that whose mom was on crack or who didn't, you know what I'm saying, who's never experienced love? Do you think somebody that was raised on love, that experienced it at an early age in its purest form, like Drama said, could effectively love somebody that never had that without destroying themselves?
I think it could be more in the way you're saying it. So the person who's raised on love can help the person who might not have been raised on love or was raised on survival more than the other way. The person of survival loving the person who was raised on love.
For sure, but I feel like the person that was raised on love is gonna have a knockdown, drag out, uphill battle with skates on, trying to effectively love the person that was built on survival because they don't know love.
Can you teach love though? Can you teach love?
Yeah, I mean, but that shit is hard. That shit is hard.
Might take some time.
That shit is hard.
I think what Jay trying to say is, like you were saying earlier before we got on, can a person that's raised on survival turn a person that's raised on love to a better person, right?
It can go both ways.
Remember, because you just asking some shit about that, like can a nigga turn a good woman? What you was saying?
Can a man spoil a good woman or vice versa? Like a good girl can go bad because of a bad situation, or relationship, and vice versa. It can go the other way too. So your heart can. I feel so. That's where they. I think that's what they bring.
Can you can a fucked up dude fuck up a good woman basically?
Yeah, like let's just say I was raised on survival. My parents loved me. I got everything I needed. I'm a wholesome person. You're a nigga in the street. You didn't have love.
Don't believe love.
Don't believe in none of that shit. You were raised on your own. You basically raised yourself. But can I love you to the point where you begin to love yourself without it destroying me, or is that impossible?
No, it ain't impossible.
It can go both ways, or it can balance. I think it'll balance.
It ain't impossible.
But it's gonna take a lot of work and a long time to balance.
Not really though. It depends on the person. If the person if that's what he trying to do. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Sometimes that might be that person's purpose in the other one's life.
Exactly. Because you could be stuck one way and then it just go either way.
It just really depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
Thin line between love and hate. I think that's kind of where that comes from too. You know what I'm saying? Like the love can, depending on the situation and what you go through with the person,
the love can be so strong that it can
turn to hate, or I don't know if there's another word for it.
It's the same emotion, love and hate.
But they said real love is already borderline hate anyway.
It's the same emotion.
Yeah.
Like the same passion that you love somebody is the same passion
that you hate them with.
That person.
So
that's deep.
So what if somebody? So what if somebody? So what if somebody says I don't hate, or I don't have hate, or I don't hate? So how does that work with that conversation? Because some people say, man, I don't hate anything. I don't hate anyone. I don't.
No, hate. I mean you have hate in you. You gotta have hate in you if you have love in you. But it's just
what is it that you
like the direction that you choose to steer that passion, basically.
So don't hate just hater shit, but you might just hate some bullshit.
You might hate the negative.
Hate the negative, right? You might hate the people who don't love.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you want to look at it like that.
Yeah.
How you gonna say hate though? You might just
dislike.
Yeah, just don't give a fuck.
I think that's different than hate too, though.
Yeah. Hate is that fire. Both of them are fire. No, they're both fire emotions for sure. Like if you hate something, like I hate whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you hate it with a passion. That passion is that fire. Or you can love something with a passion, or someone with a passion. It's still that fire. I feel what you're saying. Like it's the same. It comes from the same place. It comes from your core.
It's fire and desire.
Okay, Rick James.
Man.
Okay, Rick James.
What we doing, Scream?
What is the stupidest shit you've done under the influence of the drug love?
Tough.
He said tough.
Oh, wow.
Man, this shit is...
I mean, it makes you make dumb decisions. You know, and be
so
blinded by, you know.
Like when we was talking about where do we see that shit? When we was doing something that we can't speak of, but if you love so hard that you don't see the signs that maybe the woman is not being faithful, or maybe you don't see the signs that the man is being faithful, or you disregard it because you ignore it because you're under the love spell. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit.
We ain't doing that though. But you can do some shit. Nah, real shit.
Yeah.
Six Flags.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
And then them shits look
Jay got a story. I feel it.
I ain't like, I don't know. I haven't never like busted windows or shot at niggas or no shit like that. But like, it just, the normal shit that happens when it comes with.
Have you threatened to shoot niggas?
For sure. For sure.
Have you ever damaged any property?
Can be clothes. Can be shoes.
Never burnt no shit.
I swung on a nigga before, but I ain't never did nothing to nobody's stuff. Like, I did something to the nigga, but I ain't never like, I never done anything that was gonna like leave proof. You see what I'm saying?
What?
Like, I've never, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just talk about something.
Yeah, let's talk about
shit
something
crazy. Like, I don't know what to say.
Draw. Artists. You got artists, man. You got a label. When did you decide to, I guess, rebrand from affiliates to Generation Now? At what point was it where you was like, okay, I need to rebrand and kind of just go this direction?
I kind of feel like a lot of it happened organically and naturally in a sense. Like, obviously in the last, I don't want to, maybe the last 10 years or per se, I watched as, the mixtape game was declining in a sense. And, it was a time when I was doing 3-4 tapes a month per se or whatever have you, and I was seeing how as time was going on, I was doing less and less projects, and around like 2013 2014 I started I got the gig at Atlantic to be A&R consultant, however, and at the same time I was building Mean Street Studios, and that kind of when I went to Atlantic too, I told them, hey guys, I got this building you might be interested in, beyond just my A&R gig and what have you. So they came in and became a partner with me on Mean Streets. So around that time, I just remember like, in our field, like we see so many artists and are part of so many artists' careers and what have you, but I never had kind of felt like I had a win or a notch under my belt, like somebody that like actually came from us per se, obviously, quote unquote sign, whatever, however, but so we just made like a conscious decision, like, listen, man, we don't want to necessarily like keep missing artists per se as we watching them come up and grow and what have you. And then, honestly, some of it even happened because of the lack of success that I was having at Atlantic. So when I got there, when I first got in the building, I was trying to kind of find my way, and it started off with them trying to, put me in positions to work with artists that were already signed that kind of needed help, what have you. And, it wasn't necessarily fitting. I was still trying to figure it out, and, they already kind of had their way and their vision and what have you. So, when we first brought Uzi to the table to Atlantic, they literally pretty much, they wanted to do it because of their trust and faith in us.
And that was the first artist.
We technically, around that same time, we signed Uzi, we signed Scheme was our first artist.
Okay.
Scheme from LA.
Scheme was hard.
Scheme, my buddy.
Yeah, Scheme,
Yeah.
my brother.
Scheme hard. Yeah.
So around that time, we were, that was when we were first like, we're getting people to be a part of Generation Now. So basically, I was in a position with Atlantic like after a year or two or however the deal was kind of, they was like, we're not sure how this is panning out per se, but they were like, listen, we believe in you. We want to give you let's figure something out for another year. We'll let you hold down Mean Streets, make that part of the Atlantic family company imprint, however, and then we'll give you Uzi, like, let y'all just do y'all thing. And then a year later, like, the story was written.
Another conversation is why do you think we see so much and I don't know where y'all are like currently, but we see a lot of times Like, I remember those days. It's like, Drum says this is Uzi. Now I know who Uzi is, and everything's good. But then sometimes we see it go the other way, maybe because of business or whatever the case is. So what do you think are some of those things, not just in your case, but in general, that kind of separate the artists from the CEOs and the executives? What are some of the things you think that get in the way?
I feel like, I mean, like, taking Uzi for an example, you know, like, Uzi went about it a certain way in a sense where, you know, he really knows how to facilitate and use the internet and social media to his advantage. So he was able to, you know, create a certain narrative that pretty much went in his direction. And I think, like, you know, we've seen so many artists, all of us in this room, like, come from literally, like, you know, barely having any money in their pocket to being multimillionaires. You know, so at a certain place, you know, the CEO or the label is here and the artist is here, and then as the artist gets more notoriety and fame, it starts to go like this, and then, you know, they're the shining light and garnishing all the attention and per se. And, you know, most of the time after artists get to a certain degree, it's pretty much autopilot after that. You know what I mean? Like, and I look at, like, you know, and it's like that in a lot of businesses per se. So, you know, even if you think about the people that one may surround themselves with, you know, you can literally put your people in position. You know what I'm saying? When you one of the biggest artists in the world, once that person who represents you, walks into the room, they're gonna do it based upon who you are. It's not necessarily like say person is saying, listen, man, I got this amazing, I mean, this does happen at times, but I have this amazing relationship with this multi-billion-dollar company and I'm about to finesse it. Nah, they want to get in business with this artist because of who that artist is per se. So, you know, I think, like, when it comes to artists and, like, managers or labels, or just when people that have came up in those situations, like, we see those situations play out a lot, but sometimes it's behind the scenes, sometimes it's in front of the world, you know.
So how that shit went left though? Like, what niggas, like, what's, you know, the initial conversation of this shit done went downhill.
I mean, I don't
and it was like damage beyond repair, and we need to figure this out.
I don't think it was, neither of those situations ever really happened in a sense, like
there was no conversation.
Like I was explaining, I think for Vert, again, he has his way of, you know, creating his own narrative. Like, you know, we in the business of music. Like, you know, part of that narrative was us not wanting his album to come out. Like, why would we not want his album to come out? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's what we do. We're in the business of putting music
out. And that was
out.
the Free Uzi campaign.
Yeah, that was a lot of it per se. Or, you know, maybe even his discrepancy with, you know, us as a label, as Generation Now. But I mean, like I tell everybody, that's really a question more for him more than anything. Like, you know, we've always done good business. You know, we stand by that. We're good guys. You know, we come from the cloth. You know what I'm saying? We come from the culture. So yeah, I mean, I can't, whether or not how he feels about myself or my partners as people, you know, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I can't, you know, but beyond that, my only goal from beginning to now is just make him and be a part of him being one of the biggest artists in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like we accomplished that in a lot of ways, you know, and we did our part. He did his part too. So, and I don't think it's, you know, beyond, like, it never was a point, I don't think it got where it's beyond repair or what have you. I mean, you know, again,
Vert is still in business, though.
We're still in business. And, you know, Vert is on autopilot in his own right. Like, you know what I'm saying? He does his thing, you know, and we gracefully.
Do you still have opinions about certain things? Like, let's keep it about, like, when you saw the diamond in the head, what were your thoughts? Like,
I just looked at it again. That nigga's a fucking genius. He's an alien. Like, and, like, I was watching his interview and him just saying, like, you know, when he came to the $24 million diamond, like, he couldn't put it on his hand. He's like, I'm Lil Uzi. I got to put it in my head. So
right.
I was like, this, you know, he hasn't lost a step when it comes to that, you know, when making everybody pay attention to him.
Absolutely.
So, look, I'm sitting here right now, and please don't think I'm tripping, but I'm looking at you, and I'm listening to you, and do you know that, like, you actually kind of sort of look and sound like Drake?
You think so?
Yes, yes, very much so.
What?
Yes.
Somebody pull up a Drake
No,
picture.
I'm serious, like, for real. Like, you know how Drake is so well versed and, like, just so, you know, like, spitting the shit out.
Drum gives you Drake energy.
Yes, Drum gives me Drake energy.
I mean, I guess you could say we cut from a similar cloth you know.
Right.
I mean, if you hold it,
Like,
show it.
Put it in the camera, like, oh God, like I'm not tripping. Like,
I mean, I am the older out of the two of us, so.
The older of the Drake energy, yes.
I'm just saying, I don't mean the older of the energy, like, you know, I was.
He's basically saying he looked like
I'm 42,
Yeah.
so, you know.
Yeah, Drake looks like Drum.
I mean.
Yeah. I'm sorry. They could be cousins.
But we both got
Step
black
brothers,
dads,
maybe.
Jewish
Right.
moms.
Okay.
So it's similar.
I got
Okay.
you.
You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
But I mean, I take that as a compliment. He's a well-versed guy, you know.
Very much so.
Salute to him.
Very much
Was y'all
so.
supposed to do a mixtape at one point?
We was.
What happened?
At two couple points, because there was the Gucci and Drake tape
Right.
that was supposed to happen. I remember I had got them on the phone for the first time. They was chopping it up, and then around the time of what was the tape called? If you're reading this too late,
All-Star tape.
we had briefly, you know, before that, like maybe some 6 months before that, you know, briefly discussed and spoke about, you know, doing something. So, you know, I can't say for sure, but it's very possible that project in his mind at one point he thought about going in the direction of a mixtape lane and it being potentially Gangsta Grills. So, but I mean, you know, then I just feel like, I mean, Drake is such a, you know, he's at a level where it only made sense at a certain time and space. Like, I mean, if at certain years, it's like it's just for the novelty to do it per se. Like, you know what I mean? So,
You think a lot of people, DJs will talk. You think that we're gonna say Drake ruined mixtape? We won't say that, but do you think that his effect of doing this shit without DJs, he was the first person to make it kind of go that way?
I don't know if I feel like he was the first. I feel like it was that whole era. Like it was a lot of people. Because I mean, technically, I mean, he did. You know, I remember he did one. He did a tape with Smalls. You know, and then like, I just think his class, his class of artists around that time, like the Drake era, Cole, Kendrick, Wiz, you know, all those guys, like
We don't need no DJ.
They were making projects and, you know, like not using DJs. And then I don't know, I feel like, you know, we had something to do with that too, like just the concept. You remember, like there was no DJ until we started like going crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I was so boisterous on the tapes and everything, and the music was so big and impactful that people wanted to play it all over. So then, you know, artists and everything would come to myself, come to you, and want to do our projects, and then afterwards do no DJ projects.
How you feel like, you know, people perceive themselves, so how you feel like people should look at you? Basically what I'm saying is, what you feel like your legacy is?
That's a great question. I feel like I don't feel like it's finished, but I feel like, you know, I've given a lot to the culture. Obviously, you know, when it comes to Gangsta Grills, you know, arguably
hold on, let me say this.
Go ahead.
If you could pop your shit on what you done did, and what you doing, like
I'm one of the greatest DJs of all time. I mean, you know, when it comes to, like, when the mountain,
you could pop that shit.
You gotta have an honest
sound like that
conversation.
nigga on them Gangsta Grills, man.
Yeah, you gotta have an honest
Man, pop
conversation.
your
Gangsta
shit,
Grills
man.
was Gangsta Grills.
Pop
Okay,
your shit, man.
this one I learned what an album budget was. Like, you were a part of album budget, so it's
Facts.
like, fuck a promo tour. You're doing a Gangsta Grills.
that's
You know what I'm
facts.
saying? Like, that was big.
No, yeah, you know, I be talking that shit on the mixtape. So when I'm in regular conversation, but yeah, I'm one of them guys. Like, you know, when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of DJs, like I'm up there for sure, 100%.
What that day, bro? And you spoke about it before. The day when the feds came to your spot, raided, arrested you and Cannon. Let's just say after it happened and you were in, I don't know, a police car, paddy wagon, whatever the fuck it was, on the way to, you've been arrested.
Right street.
What's going on in your mind?
I'm bugging the fuck out. I'm like, this can't be real. Like this can't be happening. Like where along the lines is there a mishap, mistake that they got, you know, where they came for us.
Did you think you was finna do like real time though? Did you have that?
The only time I really felt like when we got there and they told us it was no bond, like when they first took us to Wright Street and you know we went through the motions and then like no bond, like no bond, what like. But beyond that, I never really thought about doing. I don't even remember where my mind was at the time, like to even think about that. Like, you know, it was just such a anomaly of how it happened. Like, you know, I was just still trying to figure out how the fuck we got there.
The same people that was sending you plaques thanking you for breaking their artists locked you up.
Sent
basically,
niggas to come lock us up. Like,
yeah, crazy.
Shit was crazy.
DJ Drama's in the building. Jack Harlow is about to pull up, right? Jack Harlow pulled up.
Jack's on his way.
It's going down, www.bigfactspod.com. Keep us locked.
You're listening to Big Facts with Big Bank and DJ Scream.
It's going down. It's Big Facts, DJ Scream, Big Bank, Baby J, DJ Drama is here, and now Jack Harlow is here on Big Facts. Represent that generation now. What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Amazing.
Amazing?
Yeah.
The first thing that's been going on the internet with Jack Harlow is we didn't know you could hoop. So Jack Harlow can hoop. You can hoop?
I can hoop.
You can hoop?
Where'd you see that?
What was it? It was online. The Drewski shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Revolt, Drewski, and was it you versus Russ or something like that? Yeah. So you hoop for real or was it?
I'm useful.
You're useful.
I'm not an ISO guy. I don't take over the game and put up 40, but I'm very useful. If I'm on your team, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Did you see his Bill Laimbeer-esque?
Yeah, I had a flagrant too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That went viral.
Yeah.
What was that about? That was a 2K moment, or you just
for the love of the game? Man.
For the love of the game. That's what's up. In your day to day, you do have a love for basketball, though. Obviously,
Definitely.
You're a Kentucky fan.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm a Louisville fan.
Louisville. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
I hate Kentucky.
You hate Kentucky.
That's like, is that like Duke versus Carolina?
Yeah, it's as strong a rivalry as that. It's one or the other.
Wow.
And there's no rhyme or reason for why somebody's a Louisville or a UK fan as they grow up.
And then another thing with you is, man, you have moments where you say some really wild shit on social media. Oh, he's looking confused. you said some really wild shit. Kodak has the list of shit that you said because he was pointing it out to me. I didn't even know you said some of that shit, but do you want to name some of them, Kodak? It was funny. What was the one? If you were a female, what was the first thing you would do?
Woman for a day, what would you do?
What'd I say?
Let my homeboy get some pussy.
What? What that mean?
What you mean?
What that mean?
You want to look out for your boy?
Hold on, you said what now?
He said if he was a woman for a day. The first thing that he would do is let his homeboy get some pussy. From him being
it's not
a
even
woman.
worth asking back.
I don't get it.
What you mean? If I was a woman for a day, I would have pussy, right? And so if I only got a day, I'm gonna look out for my boy. But I'm not with all that shit.
Nah, I get it.
Hypothetically speaking.
I get it,
but
but I
you
don't
would do
get
the same.
You still conscious of what you're doing? No. Where you grew up at though, bro?
Louisville, Kentucky.
How long you stay in Atlanta now?
Yeah, I got here about 2-3 years ago.
What's up?
I can't just let that one go. It's
what's a couple more?
Would you fuck your cousin for $1 billion? He said, $1 billion. I'm having an orgy at my family reunion for that type of bread.
Okay.
Listen, people say what you want. That's my thing. People have had a lot to say about this. I'm a bag chaser, bro.
Right.
I really am about my money.
Right.
I really want to feed my family, so this shit I would do to make that happen.
Yeah.
I have my limits, but I care about my family more than my pride. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Some people put their pride first. Me, I'm trying to stack.
So it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke.
Bro, $1 billion?
I'm just asking because it was funny. A lot of people laughed.
No, I
So
was
fuck
it
your cousin for $1 billion?
Why? How did I become? No,
See, but you thinking about it. It
This
wasn't
is
a
really
direct
asking
No, it's
the
a-
joke. The
it's a
joke or
fair
not a
question.
joke?
There's nobody in this room that wouldn't fuck their cousin for $1 billion.
Is this correct?
I'm definitely hitting my cousin for $1 billion.
Okay, this is
Down one on.
for sure.
Every position.
I hit all on for that big. All my female cousins run that shit for that money.
Don't even have to Any cousin. See what I'm saying? But I'm saying.
See, I'm saying. See, Ben clarified. He said female cousin.
You think any cousin? Man, don't do that,
Let's talk about
bro.
the music, bro. Damn. I came here to talk about the music, bro.
No, bro. He said any one of his uncle too. You'll do your uncle
That's
for
not
me.
a cousin.
Billy.
Come on, bro. Let's keep moving. You want to say the truth.
The next question would be, what about $500 million? But we ain't gonna go there. No $500 million. How is it doing business and being signed to DJ Drama?
He's number one all time. That's how I view him, and I viewed him that way before I signed. So to be signed to him now, I mean, the stories he tells me, the game he gives me, it's invaluable. So I love being signed to him.
When y'all have, because y'all had a healthy dispute one time about an album cover, so how do y'all resolve shit like that? Like, is it text messages, phone calls, is it in person? Like, how do y'all resolve, obviously, healthy debates and disputes that y'all have?
They're fun conversations, actually. But at the end of the day,
they're kind of fun.
At the end of the day, I mean, what he says pretty much goes creatively, like
the artist, right?
Yeah, so we give our opinions, but
that's the thing. Since I signed, he gives me his opinion, and I want his opinion. But at the end of the day, I know I have creative control. He always gonna let me do what I want to do, and that's a beautiful thing. Because I still want to hear what he has to say, but I know it's my decision at the end. And that's special. I don't think everybody's getting that everywhere.
Yeah, it's important to keep that creative control. I think that sometimes, people get too much in the artist business, and then they make them the artist they would be, which is whack. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I think that fucks up the longevity for the artist sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's some other day-to-day shit that you're into, just as Jack Harlow? Like, some shit that people might not know about you that you're into?
I'm a sports guy. I grew up playing soccer, and lately I'm getting back into that. I've been playing pickup soccer around town. I like movies a lot. I like movies almost more than music. So I got a few things I like. I like hot yoga.
Hot yoga, what's that?
It's yoga when it's hot as hell. Like in the sauna? Yeah, it's like they put a room at like 103 degrees and do yoga in it, and it's pretty nice.
If you get too hot, can you walk out of the room?
Yeah, I mean the door ain't locked.
Yeah. Do
do
people do that?
Wouldn't it be kind of hard to breathe?
I do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I leave in the middle of the session for a second, but I mean you try to get through. But what blows my mind is I'm typically the youngest person in these classes, and the people that go are just such regulars that I'm the most tired. Seriously, every time I go, I'm like, I can't keep up with any of these old heads.
How do you go about picking and choosing, like, who you do stuff with, or do you do anything with people from your hometown at all?
Oh, I definitely do. Me and G been working for a couple years now, and everything's really coming to fruition for him right now. It's beautiful for me to see. But early on, I saw G, and I was like, this is just so authentic and real, and he had like a level of control. He's so good at rapping. So for me, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's It ain't that hard to choose. I just pick what I like.
Drama, obviously, you can deal with any artist you pretty much probably would want to, especially if they're coming up. But why Jack Harlow? Like, what in you said, man, this is a star, this person, he's special. Like, what was that moment?
I think when we met, I mean, we kind of vibed off top. I think just off our love for movies. We talked about some movies and everything. And, just his energy, you know what I mean? He put out this record, fucking Dark Knight. He put out Dark Knight, and it was just kind of like, the energy on it was incredible, and I just liked him as a person, honestly, and I just felt like, what I looked for in an artist, he had it all. Like, he had the lyrics, like he had the songs, he had the personality, like, and and he had more than anything, like he had the passion. Like I feel like Jack from very early on, just as I was on my journey, knew that like it wasn't about if he was gonna make it, it was just about when he was gonna get there.
That's another big fast conversation too, though. Is it important to do business or creatively get involved with somebody that is a good person or you like their personality? Because we've had that debate here where it's kind of like, well, if it's for the money, it could just be temporary and handle your business, you know what I'm saying? Like, you probably, we've all done mixtapes with people that we figured out who they were and you know what I'm saying? But is that important?
I mean, I think it helps. I again, like we was talking about earlier, I don't know if you really even feel like when you go in the music business, you know, you meet people at a certain point in space in your life and their life. You really don't know them per se. You know what I'm saying? So, and people change. You know,
True.
You know, success changes people. Money changes people. Like, it brings out, you know, the good and the bad in a lot of ways. So, it's definitely a blessing. You know, to be in business with somebody that, you know, I think is a great human being. You know what I mean?
But so yeah, a blessing, but not essential.
It's not essential.
You can do business.
Yeah, for sure. You can definitely do business with people like, you know, that you don't see eye to eye with, or, you know, pretend. You know, there's a lot of people in the business that I do business with. I don't hang out with them.
You don't like everybody that's signed to him.
Like, I have my core.
You said what
He
now?
don't even like everybody that's signed to him.
He
So
don't like everybody
it's
that's
definitely
signed
not
to him. Okay. I feel like that's an inside thing. I don't know. Is that a?
I was trying to see where he's going with it.
Yeah. Is it an inside
I think
thing?
I like everybody. I probably wouldn't hang out with everybody though.
I take it back then.
That's a fair thing.
Hanging out don't necessarily mean you like somebody. It could be like.
Well, I mean, okay, but on
You mean choose to hang out with them.
on
I got you.
All organic surface level per se, like hanging out.
Right. So y'all would consider yourself friends. You would say John's my friend.
Definitely.
For sure. That's dope.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Is that the first artist you've had that's actually your friend?
I think out of all the artists that have been part of Generation Now, me and Jack are the closest out of all the artists. I mean,
I can definitely tell, like, from you guys' conversation that you just had when, I guess you were like, you were going to go somewhere, and he was like, why? And I was like, that's the same shit I be doing, like, with him or whatever. So, like, yeah, I can tell, like, that closeness, love is there.
Yeah, but when I first signed, I spent the first few months a little nervous around drums, still, like, kind of on my toes. Like,
really?
Yeah, I just met him, and I had so much respect for him. Like, I could speak my mind, but
It was kind of like, you didn't want to say the wrong shit and whatever.
I saw him as, like, a superior to me, and I still do in a way because I still have a lot of respect, but we're just closer now. I feel like I can speak my mind. We can get on the phone. I can be candid.
The ice is broken.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
And even in that same grain, like if there's a disagreement or something I might not feel, I don't feel no type of way of expressing that per se, and that's not always easy.
That's the best relationship to have.
And a lot of that shit changes once an artist gets to a certain level. You know what I'm saying? And so. Yeah, that can all, you gotta kind of walk on eggshells with certain people. You know what I mean?
How you stay like Jack away from like we don't see you like how you control yourself or deal with like the trolls on social media and all that shit? Because we don't never see you like I haven't seen you like going back and forth with nobody or doing no crazy shit. Like how do you manage to push that energy away or stay away from it?
I think because every time I see somebody engage with a troll, I'm like, from the outside looking in, it just looks so whack. I'm like, why would you give them that time of day? Even though in that moment, emotionally, sometimes you do want to give them that time of day. When I see other people do it, I'm like, that just looks lame. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to look lame. So I'm not about to talk to these trolls. And I mean, it's not good to feed into it, because especially when you have fans, you got 90 comments of people being like, I love you, you're amazing, you changed my life. And then you have 5 haters and you engage with them. It hurts the fans' feelings. It makes them feel like, damn, you're not responding to the love. Why you care so much about the hate? So
it's real. Big facts.
Absolutely.
Massive facts.
When you make a record, when you make a record like What's Poppin', and then you got the Tyler joint out, like, is there any pressure to the next record? Like, what's gonna be the next hit record? Or when y'all have conversations, do y'all have conversations about what the last record was and what this record is gonna be, or y'all just let it naturally just be whatever the fans fuck with?
There's always pressure. At least I want to go so far with this, and I have such big ambitions that the pressure is already there, but it's created by myself. So I always know what I want to do next. I'm always focused on what the next record is. But I like to evolve. If you listen to my music from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it's come a long way. And so I don't plan on just doing the same formula over and over. So I don't really go back to them songs and think, let me get another one of these. I just keep making new stuff and trying to stay refreshing.
Most definitely. And then when you have moments like last year with all the Black Lives Matter shit, and then the police, killing black people, and just the social injustice and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, as a white person, like, how does that make you feel? Or what are your conversations with some of your homies and friends when moments like that happen?
Well, a lot of the conversations have more to do with me listening than talking, just because I like to, you know, hear it out. But in terms of how I feel when I see that, I mean, every time one of those videos hits the internet, it's disgusting. I mean, it brings anger and fury out of me, and especially because my hometown was kind of the center of all the issues last year. I felt a real responsibility to be back there and show face, especially being a part of Black culture. There was just a need and a responsibility, especially because so many white kids look up to me and so many white kids see themselves in me, that I think leading by example and showing yourself as an ally and picking a side of the fence. What happened last year kind of made it where you couldn't really balance and say, I see both sides. You know, you kind of were forced to pick a side.
Right.
And I know I'm a role model to so many white kids that I wanted to make clear where mine was.
So you came out and said it, and I think that's dope, because there were people that were trying to still, well, you got to look at it this way. Like, look at it what way? You know what I'm saying? There's only one way to look at it. We looking at it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks. Absolutely. And this is a little bit of a cliche question, but who are your influences, your rap influences?
Drake, Andre 3000, Wayne, Eminem, Jay.
And you haven't got a chance to work with
Wayne? That's it.
Wayne.
On my list.
Yeah, you work with Wayne. Right.
And then one other one's coming right up.
One other one is
one
done?
Other I listed is coming
exclusive
right up.
info.
No, we can't, sadly.
Come on, Drum.
He said no, we can't, sadly.
I don't know nothing.
You say you don't know nothing. Will it be this spring, this summer?
Well, he was the reason for Wayne, and he's the reason for this one, or at least he's the connector.
Okay, we can add it up.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Harlow and Drake.
Just wait.
They're not gonna tell us,
hold on.
right? We still gotta try to get it out of them.
Yeah.
That sounds fire, though.
Yeah. Is that a cosign?
I would love to see that.
You would love to see that? Now, Harlow, Eminem?
That sounds fire, too.
Okay, so at least, have you had conversations with some of these people?
I have.
You have had conversations with some or all?
Out of the 5 I listed, I've talked to 3.
Okay.
Worked with 1. About to work with the second one. But I've had combos.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. That's exclusive.
The bucket list is it's getting checked off, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm chipping away at it.
Yeah.
Still got more to do.
Most definitely. On Big Facts, we always like to give some good game, you know what I'm saying, to the people on the come up, you know what I mean? So let's give some game to these youngins right now, the young water boys or whatever the fuck they got going on. Like, let's all give these people some game and some motivation before we slide.
Talk to the water boys.
Yeah, let's see. I guess I would just encourage everybody to really focus on, you know, being disciplined and keeping in mind what you want. Wake up every day and think about the things you want. Think about it before you go to sleep, because I'm a witness to the fact that you can make pretty much anything you want happen.
Manifest.
It's just a matter of keeping it in mind and being disciplined in that way. So just stay focused.
Stay focused. I like that.
You know, trust the process. You know, I mean, you gotta live the journey. You know, not try to get ahead of yourself, or not, you know, not be able to indulge in the moment per se. I think a lot of people, you know, come into the game, you look at, you know, other people and per se and comparisons, and, you know, I think that comes with it. But you just gotta, you know, I feel like if you really love what you do, and, you know what I'm saying, you've put your all into it, like, you get that time, you get that moment. So you just gotta, you know, stay down.
Stay down till you come up. You know what I'm saying? Salute that. We appreciate y'all pulling up the Big Facts. New Jack Harlow music coming soon. Pretty soon. New drum. Still music coming?
Yeah, I got some things in the works.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what it is, man. Y'all check us out, www.bigfactspod.com. Salute.